Yeah, so first off, we're twin brothers, and we're currently in LA. And Stella is a subsidiary of 99 Jets. It's starting the automated fashion pattern generation for band. Stella is a partnership we've done with a company called Glam Hive. Glam Hive has the largest collective of professional stylists in the land, and they have it all in one platform. There's about 8,000 stylists now at Glam Hive, and they connect with clients. They style them remotely on the internet. And so Stella AI is kind of the AI component of that. So we're enabling these professionals with AI-based assistants now that does everything communicating with the client through a conversational manner to generating reports, doing some of the clerical stuff that stylists have to do behind the scenes, the client prep work. And AI has come a long way over the past couple decades, but now we're finally in this stage where it's generating itself and there's a massive knowledge base is already trained in these models and they can do a lot of different things. But Stella AI is really about taking knowledge that's not in these models and making it accessible through the AI interface. So these are things like wardrobe information. A lot of folks, they have a lot of things in their closet, but nobody knows what those things are. They've forgotten a lot of the things they own. And now we're living in an age where that's easy to onboard. So instead of having to meticulously know everything about every item in your closet and import it into a system, we're enabling you to just walk around your closet video, trying to describe everything. The AI is going to analyze and do a lot of the heavy lifting. And then, of course, we're not quite there yet. So the human, the loop is going to add a lot of data as well. But once you have knowledge about what you own inside of one of these systems, it's much easier to converse with the system and ask it questions about, hey, at the store, this is a cute outfit. Do you think I could wear it? And then the system, because it knows what you own, instantly say, yeah, there's 5 ensembles you can create using this, and these are the types of events or engagements you would wear them at. So it can help with buying decisions, your online shopping. Same thing, our extension will pop up and be an assistant and help you determine what you're going to buy. And then on the professional stylist front, it's really helping them do research. It's going out, it's understanding what products are trending, what's available, what's on sale, how to integrate new pieces, how to make the wardrobe more more trendy. And so all of those things, it's AI is helping a lot because the AI has a memory. And so then last thing I'll talk about is we're getting more into voice interactivity now. So we'll have video and images, of course, where you can show it, but you're really conversing with these things now, like a true conversation with a friend. And that friend's going to remember things about previous events or how it might have styled you in the past or what your likes and interests are, what not to recommend to you. And that's going to be something that we believe the professional stylists are going to lean on to have better
Hey, what's up?
understanding
Sorry.
of their client interactions. They could follow up with clients, new touch points, and maybe they didn't have time in the past. And then it gives the client something to have in their pocket, basically, whenever the stylist isn't available. Because nobody hires a stylist full time. A couple celebrities do, but most people hire a stylist 4 times a year on average. But if it can be in your pocket and it can help you dress for work or at events, and it's a lot more cost effective to have an AI. So that's what we're working on now, and there's a lot of cool technical stuff, video analysis, and some of this retrieval stuff that we get to do with customers' wardrobe, and some of the memory stuff we get to do with using the tokens that we're sending to these LLMs over time, because we are remembering a lot about these people. And then privacy is going to be a major concern for all AIs going forward. So there's a lot of fun work, challenges that we get to tackle with that.
Yeah, so just a little color. Our background, been building tech and companies since 1998. Internally, we own a full service advertising and media agency. We service 31 of the Fortune 1000. My brother and I have first generation family office. So we're also here as a tech investors in companies, as well as continuing to build internally our own products and our own brands. So as Zach mentioned, 99 Gens is parent company of Stella. One of our investments, we've been in the deal about 7 years now, is Glam Hive. And Steph Spring, as the founder, came to us and said, "Hey, I want to get into AI." So Zach and I said, "Well, maybe we have some cycles available," and we kind of started meeting with the stylists and meeting with some of the Glam Hive forward and came up with this concept for Stella. So Stella will be launching at the Glam Hive Live Elite Style Summit that's going to be in October, and we'll have around 100 of the top stylists in the world there.
So what's interesting about conversational AI today is we used to have when we built turn-based mechanics where talking to Siri or talking to Alexa, and it's now it's your turn. Tell me what the response should be. Now we're moving into more kind of fluid conversations where you can interrupt the AI, kind of like you're talking to a human, call that barging. And what's interesting about that is these assistants, and it's not just going to be like OpenAI will have one, of course, they have a release it, but we're going to have dozens of these in our lives, and they're all going to be tailored specific kind of knowledge bases for the specific tasks, and maybe eventually they all merge into one. But I'm betting on a future where we have dozens of these things that we use for different various tasks, and styling will just be one of those areas where you just need to remember, what you have in your wardrobe, what your interests are, what kind of things that you're searching for online, what kind of looks you're into. Maybe it's celebrity style icons, shows you watch, things that inspire your fashion. And you're going to be able to talk to these things, and it's going to feel in the future like you've known this for a while as a friend. You're going to get immersed into it. You're going to forget you're talking to an AI eventually, and it's going to know more about you than you can remember about yourself, which is also super interesting and can be useful. It can be creepy, but really the goal here is to make these as fluid and dynamic as possible so that the users interact with them, they feel comfortable interacting with them, and you can get kind of that 1000x gain out of, having an assistant that's kind of superhuman and can help you through these aspects of the day. And I'll speak more outside of just Stella. I do believe that these AIs are going to help accelerate everything in our lives. And so we heard the council member, he's using it for emails, and he talked about vectorizing the data so it has a knowledge base. We are going to get there where everything that we ever think about when we see or we interact with, that we're getting into sensor data, and soon we'll have cameras everywhere, and we'll know things about our daily lives that traditionally we wouldn't have memorized. And I think this can be incredibly useful, but we have to embrace it, and we have to move forward into a world where it's inevitable. We can't push back. We can't say, "Oh, I don't quite understand that yet," and then give it us a year. Because, as a lot of people know, AI it may take a few jobs, but for majority of people, it's going to be an assistant that collaborates with you, and it helps you increase your productivity, your efficiency in your own job. And I kind of think of it like when Microsoft Office first started getting popular. I remember taking all those classes in school, and then all the instructors were like, "You have to learn this. It's going to be on your resume. If you don't have this on your resume, you're going to be alienated from a lot of jobs." And I feel the same kind of thing happening with AI right now is if you're not familiar with these tools and you don't have proficiencies in these tools, eventually human resources is going to be looking at your resume and saying, "Well, this is similar to not knowing Access or Word or PowerPoint. How can we hire this person? They're better candidates." And so that's really where I'm thinking of it from is to future proof yourself, you need to have a basic understanding of the tools. And what's really fun about AI today is we're abstracting a lot of the complexity that used to come with dealing with AI systems. And we're getting it to a point where there's these GUIs and wizards, and it's really becoming easy to make AI useful for you versus having to hire the expert that really understood, well, what type of model do I train? How do I clean and format the data? How do I get the compute going? And now we have these just one-click solutions deploy and run AI apps now, and it will install dependencies for you. You don't really have to know how to do anything anymore. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the future is bright. But here at the Thousand X Summit, it's this question, this overarching question is how do we apply 1000X to our business? And AI is that answer, right? And if anyone not embracing it today, I encourage you to look at it. And heck, you can ask it to teach you how to use it. That's the funny part about it. It will teach you how to use it. It's just ask the right questions. So focus on that, and as we look out into this room of people, and there's a lot of founders here today, and great companies, and we've done Ryan for a long time. It always organizes a great group of people, and we look forward to meeting more companies we can invest in personally, as well as looking for partnerships and synergies in our own businesses.
And partnerships are an amazing part of the AI ecosystem as well. We're finally at a point now where people aren't trying to build everything in house themselves and own 100% of their tech stack. You really can rapidly build things, get prototypes at least out there very quickly, see if they gain user traction, see if you really need to scale something and build a really big team around it. So we're going to see a lot more innovation. It's really exciting what AI is doing for engineering. Right now, we're still kind of at that stage where the engineer does have to understand what they're looking at and they work in collaboration with the AI tools. But we are moving towards a kind of a citizen developer kind of landscape where there's going to be thousands of people that start building apps by just speaking in natural language to the machines. And they'll get things out. They already are. They're getting things out in the world that they never would have built before. They could have never justified the risk or the budget to even take a chance. And now we're starting to see kind of that future start to evolve. And so the problems I like to focus on right now are the really tough ones. The AIs can't do themselves, but even I'm not naive. There's going to be a time, the near future, where just about anything you want to build, you'll just talk to the machine. And it might not use the best practices. It may not do what the guy you hired would have done, but it'll still work. And for a lot of people, that's all that matters is does it work and is it an interface I can use and is it useful? And there's going to be thousands of companies in the next 10 years that are built 100% by people that never knew how to do this before.
So Zach and Austin are on top of AI like no other group I've seen before. Um, if you guys have any questions, we'll open it up to the floor.
Yeah, I have a question. How do you view the recommendations like based on like what style people should wear?
So we're not building our own recommender system ourselves. There's a couple companies that have done a really good job at that, and so we're just layering that in. But yeah, the we have to send a call out to them and get their recommendations, and then we have to use that in our workflows. But there's AI involved in all of that in the workflows, and really I think of it now as I'm calling a service, I'm getting a response, I'm feeding that response to the LLM. It's not going to it's the LLM's handling the intake, it's determining what tool to call, it's determining what to do next. And that's really where we've gotten now is we rely a lot on LLMs in every part of the workflow. And then people throw around names like Anthropic or Google Gemini or OpenAI. We use pretty much this. We use all of them. and they're useful in different ways, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But I do believe that we're almost to a point where there will be a system that can understand all of that as well and help kind of navigate, because routing is going to be a big part of the future of AI. What AI am I using? Is it useful in this use case? Is it the most optimal AI to use for this specific task in the workflow? And how do I optimize my budget and inference time and everything to make the user experience the best?
For so far, automated, or is still like human element that helping with optimize the process?
It's automated to an extent of human interaction. So, for example, using LiveKit, you can ingest your entire closet. It knows what a shirt is. It knows what a dress is. It knows what a blouse is. Knows a color that is. It knows enough to build a profile in the database on that item. It can even look at a tag from Nordstrom and understand the name of the item, right? So the more data you give it in the viewfinder, the more data it will have. But you as a human user still can go in and augment that data yourself, and you can enhance it. And you go through your list of items and say, "Oh, I bought this, or this was a gift. It was given to me." And the more you update it, the more knowledge it will have. And then in the future, that's where it gets fun, because imagine you're out at the mall and you're shopping. You just show your viewfinder to an item that you're shopping for, and it's going to go ahead and tell you everything you can build from your existing closet. And for people that have a second or their home, maybe vacation property, they have a closet there. Maybe they forgot something was over there, or they're going on vacation and it's tracking the weather and it's got all the data about where they're traveling to, the times that they're going to be there, the weather on those dates, so it can tell you, what to bring with you when you get there. So I think there's a lot to think about the future of how do we take all this data about ourselves and make it useful to ourselves in a very timely manner. And to kind of what Zach was talking about is, yes, we can hit every LLM and ask its version or its response, but inference times are inference times. And some of the faster LLMs built on different system architecture are actually, a better alternative in some of these, so for some of these solutions, like Cerebrus or Grok. Like if I can get 2,200 tokens a second response, I can go a lot more loops of information before that user gets bored waiting for their result, right? And so when we think about some of these active LLM solutions that are available to us, maybe they're too slow for us to take you through 20 steps of a workflow to give you an optimal result. But the future is now I can take you 100 steps of a workflow to get you a more optimal result, and then bring that back to you.
Yeah, I think the future of faster inference is going to enable a lot of these apps, and especially when we talk about real time voice, because you want that response to be really quick. It needs to sound like you're talking to a human. If you're waiting a couple seconds, it sounds like you're talking to a machine. So there are models like Meta's Llama 370, the model is pretty good now, the 3.1. They, I'm waiting on Llama 4, of course, but we're always waiting for the next one that's more accurate, benchmarks against kind of these private models, but we're almost there. I do believe Meta will compete at the top with all of them, but they will be open source. And these open source models, we're starting to see them run on some of these new inference providers, like talks about like Salvanova and Grok and Cerebrus. And they've just figured out through new chips how to run these processes faster and to optimize both software and the hardware side and really get these models to fly. And I think what's going to be interesting about that future is we're going to be able to do more inside of like what he talked about. If it's coding something, maybe it can recursively debug itself a couple loops before you even see the final code snippet. Well, that would be very time consuming, say with just like OpenAI's model right now. But when we start building agentic architectures and starting to think about, well, what model is it using? How many times can we loop back that model, ask it if it's sure, how with the quality assurance stage, how do we look at the results? Kind of have a reviewer agent that reviews the output of the LLM, and then we finally get to that final stage of the workflow where we're getting the response. That response isn't the first hallucination in the chain, is what I'm saying. And so we need faster inference to get past some of these hallucination issues. We also need smarter models, and that's just they'll continue to come. And we're also seeing some cool stuff with chain of thought and some of these things like OpenAI's new O1 model does. And we've been able to do that ourselves, create genetic workflows. But to have it pre-trained in the model, to have it thinking that way, these are really exciting steps forward. It's just how much does it cost? How much time does it take? Is it useful in a production app today? Or is this just like my assistant PhD that I can ask really hard questions to?
Yeah.
Is it useful today?
Yeah. Let's all give a round of applause for Zach and Austin. Thank you guys so much. Definitely check out Stella AI and 99 Gens.